Alrighty then.
Welcome to Indoor Fun.
Alrighty then. Man, I'm super excited to do this video on the Corner5 diamond system, or the kicking system, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's a really good system. Obviously, it originates back from three cushion billiards, where the cue ball needed to go three rails before contacting the second ball, or before contacting the balls. Um, and it's very, very useful in many situations in snooker and in 8 ball or 9 ball, whatever pool game or billiard game you're playing, where the opponents have left themselves safe and have put you in jail, and you need to kick to make contact with the ball. But before we get into the Corner5 system, I think it's important to take a step back and look at just a standard kick shot, right? Where you basically want to hit the mirror or the 2-to-1, whatever you want to call it. You're basically hitting halfway between the ball, and you're going to basically, your cue ball is going to have the opposite. So if it comes in at an angle, it's going to leave the bank at the opposite angle. So let's just take a look at what that looks like. You just want to hit this with a basic stroke. Can't hit it too hard, can't hit it too soft. There, and you make contact with that ball, right? Now, if you hit that too hard, it's going to end up short. And if you hit it too soft, it's going to end up long. So let's just demonstrate that, right? So if I hit this too hard, see how I came up short? And if I hit it too soft, it just ends up too long. So it's really important to understand that concept, because I want to share a little bit of math with you, a little visualization to kind of marry in the concept of this equal and opposite 2-to-1 or mirror system to the Corner5 system and how that works. So watch this little video.
Alrighty then, I hope you can see this okay. I wanted to talk about what I just talked about on the pool table. I think it's kind of an important to understand the geometry of the table. So, if you do basically a shot, so say I wanted to hit this ball here, and my other ball was here. I was 2 diamonds over. Well, I would hit in the middle point, right? And you have to hit at the right speed, as you saw, right? If you hit that too hard, it's going to be short. And if you hit it too soft, it's going to be long. Now, let's take a different one. Let's take 4 minus 2, right? So if we're doing the Corner5 system, that's 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So if the ball was here, right, and you aimed at, so that's 4. If you aimed at 2, 1, 2, right, it's important to look at this and say, okay, well, where would the half point be? That would be the half point. Where would this end up if this wasn't there? If this was one big, huge table. So you got to go here and you got to say, well, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 diamonds away, right? And then you count 4 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're at 2 on this side. So if you basically flip this over, you would end up at 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Let's take 5 minus 3. Same kind of idea. We know that's 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. 5 is in the corner pocket. If we say 5 minus 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So 3 is here, right? So then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diamonds away. You count 5 diamonds this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You end up at the 2 if this is mirrored, right? 5 minus 3 is 2. Now, in both of those situations, if you were just to hit that with a perfect medium speed, you would end up at 2. If you hit it too hard, you would end up short. If you hit it too soft, you would end up long. Now, because there's no longer one big table, this is actually two tables, and there's actually a bank here, right? Another rail. In order to make up for this distance that you have to travel and the fact that you're going off two cushions, you need to use running English. That running English counters the two rails and you end up at the two. So that kind of gives you an idea of the whole concept of mirrored tables and folding them over. Anyway, hopefully that kind of gives you a glimpse into why 4 minus 2 equals 2 and 5 minus 3 equals 2, and how, you know, the running English allows you to do these calculations fairly consistently and accurately. Anyway, hopefully that helps. See ya!
Alrighty then, here's the article I wrote for Pool Tips way back, showing this particular diamond system, the Corner5, where the third rail is the Q number minus the first rail. And actually, the diagram of my cue ball is not correct for running English. It should be up a little bit more. Yeah, between the 9 and the 12, so somewhere up there. Anyway, stay tuned. Alrighty then. Yeah, there are a number of really good videos online on YouTube. This one I think is from Dr. Dave, and Dr. Q is another one. So, you know, this kind of, you know, if you really want to get into, you know, kind of seeing more and more examples of diamond systems, I suggest you look up both of their YouTube channels. They get into it in a lot more detail than I do. Both Dr. Dave and Dr. Q. And then there's other people online that have some really good material when it comes to different diamond systems. I just wanted to kind of share this as another illustration. It's a little bit nicer than the one that I did. The one that I had from that Pool Tips article I did back in kind of the late 90s using a software package called Visio, where I actually manually created all the little pictures and then moved them around. So it took a little bit of time to kind of get some of those pictures going, but it was a lot of fun doing it.
Alrighty then. Hopefully you like that little visual aid that I did with the graph paper. I think it's important to understand why you need to use the running English in order to do these multi-bank kick shots. So let me show you the Corner5. I'll do the two shots that I illustrated. I'll put the chalk down on the on that third rail where it's going to basically make contact. In case you can't see the diamonds very well, so I'm putting it at the second diamond, and I'll do the 4 minus 2 first, then I'll do the 5 minus 3. So 4 minus 2 is 2, and 5 minus 3 is 2. They're both going to kind of come up towards this diamond. So they should basically hit this, you know, it may be to the little bit to the left of this. Really depends how you strike this ball, but I'm going to try just to do basic basic running English on this. So let's just count this out. So on the first rail, it's 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. That's the Corner5 system. It ends here, right? On that first rail that you kick at, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. And then on the return rail, the third rail, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatnot. So I think that's kind of important to do at the beginning. I understand that. So every time you're thinking about a kick shot, you want to be able to kind of do that fairly quickly. So 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So 4, and there's the 2 diamond here. Now it's not here, right? Because if the cue ball was here, I'm actually at about 4.5 here. So it's lined up with the diamond. So this cue ball lined up with the diamond. So 4 to 2 should hit this ball with running English. And it does. So bang on. Same idea with coming from the 5. So in this case, and I'm going to chalk up. I don't want to miscue like yesterday. Right? So this will be 5 minus 3. So we know that this is 5. This is 1, 2, 3. Right? So if this was lined up from the corner pocket to the 3 with running English, I should make contact. 5 minus 3 equals 2. And I do. So that's your kind of your basic. Now I didn't mention that when you come up this way, it goes increments of halves, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. But when you come up this rail, it goes 6, 7, 8. So let's try a shot from, say, I don't know. Let's try a 6 and a 7. Okay. So same idea. We're going to go for the 2. Here's the 6. 6 minus 4. Now 4 is a bit of a problem because 4 is the pocket, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I can do is I can just move slightly to the right and I should still make the contact. So it'll be slightly more than 6 and slightly more than 4. And I should still get the 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. Just like that. So let's try the 7 minus 5 equals 2 track. Now as you get further up here, it's really difficult to line this up properly. It's not as easy. The other thing is that you got to take into consideration that it's coming towards this diamond. So you can see this is opposite, right? So the chances are I might miss. I might miss on this particular shot. So let's just see. So I'm at 6, 7. This is 5. Okay, so if I do running English, on a 7 minus 5 is 2. Yeah, so I just missed. And the reason for that is that it was coming towards this diamond at a tighter angle. So in this case, as you get up here, you got to take that into consideration. You're trying to hit this at maybe almost 2.5. So if you're going to do that, and these are the things you have to understand when you're playing shots like this, kick shots, is that it's through the diamond and it's coming through this diamond. So if I'm at 7 and I want to get to 2.5, then I want to go 4.5. So instead of there, I'm going to be 7 minus 4.5 is roughly here with running English. And I make the contact. I hope that makes sense, and I think it's fairly easy. The other thing is this can be used also to kick at a ball that's on this final rail over here, like a 4-bank kick, right? It gets a little bit trickier because every pool table is a little bit different. So a standard 5 minus 3, 2, that 2 goes into that corner pocket. My table is slightly short of that, which can be very common, especially when you have newer rubbers, newer rails. So you need to understand and make adjustments for that. But let me demonstrate that. Stay tuned. Alrighty then. Yeah, so my table is just slightly short. So a 5 minus 3, 2. 2, if you remember in the original diamond system drawing that I showed, the fourth rail, that's a 2, that's a 3, and then I think this is a 1. So 1, 2, 3. So if you're kicking and you need to kick at this, you can actually kick 1, 2, 3 rails and then come and hit one of these balls. That shot doesn't really come up very often in pool or snooker, but it's possible that it could happen, that you've been put in a position where you've got balls surrounding here and you can't kick here. The only place you can kick is here, and you have to go 1, 2, 3 to hit an object ball over there. It could happen. So just in case, let's show what it looks like on the pool table. So we'll do this. I'll show you how it ends up short. And by short, I mean it's going to miss on this side. Right? So let's just see. Let's just see if that makes sense. So 5 minus 3. So I've got this track right here, 5 minus 3 track. I actually hit that a little bit hard. So that's one way that you can actually increase that. And there's other ways. I could hit it a little softer, a little harder. I wanted to do that on purpose just to kind of show you that on my table, I can hit perfectly in the middle. If I hit a little bit of running English, but just a nice firm running English. This time I'll hit kind of a standard running English. Let me chalk up because I don't want to miscue. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And I should be just a little bit short. And I am. Right? So now, let's see what 5 minus 3... 5 minus 2 would be a 3, and 3 is supposed to be here, but on my table I'm going to be a little bit short. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So I should end up kind of right in this area, just slightly short of this diamond. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's kind of neat. To be able to kind of maybe kick at a ball that is way over here. But I didn't actually kick at a ball. Let me actually put a ball there and kick at it. All right, so let's just kick. We'll use the same ball as before, the 8 ball. So let's just say the 8 ball is right in the pocket. So I already know if I go 5 minus 3 equals 2, ever just with a regular running English, I'm going to be coming off of this rail first. And I just miss it. If I go 5 minus 2 is 3, I'll just miss it on this side. I end up kicking it, just touching it. But if I wanted to make that perfectly on my table, then I would be 5 minus 3 equals 2, but I would hit it with firm running English, and I will be nailing it right in there. Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. But let's take it a step further. Let's see, what do I need to do to hit that ball if it's at the 3 position here? Okay, it's at the 3. Well, what do I know about my table? I know if I'm trying to get the 3 with regular English, it's going to end up a little bit short. Right? So it's going to end up between the 2 and the 3. But if I hit it firm, I might get a chance to hit it. So 5 minus 2 is 3. If I hit firm English, maybe. Oh, it was so close. Oh, but the other thing you got to remember is that it's coming towards that angle. It's pretty tight. So I would make a slight adjustment because I know that I want to be more on this side. So I probably want to be aiming at like 3.5. 3.5 would be 5 minus 1.5. And I could just go kind of medium running English. And I should hit it. And I just nicked it. So now that I know that, I just need to hit it a little bit firmer. And I'll hit it bang on. Every table is a little bit different. So I think it's really important to kind of practice this on your table and understand in certain situations, do I have to hit it a little bit harder, a little bit softer, and how much running English do I need? But that's the Corner5 system. It's a great system for kicking to the third rail. It works very, very good. It's very accurate for, making contact. There's going to be situations where you can actually make the ball as well. Like if the ball is over here, that if you hit that with a firm 5 minus 3 is 2, it's going to go right into towards the pocket. So that's good to know. Anyway, that's basically all there is to the Corner5. I do have a little treat though. Let's see what it looks like with the GoPro connected. I think that'll look pretty cool. Actually, I'll just put it on right here, and we'll see what it's like. I think it'd be kind of fun to you get a bit of a different view, right? And I always like to put this on. I have different attachments for this. So I think when I get to the cottage, I'll get my box of attachments and I'll see if I have an attachment that would actually work and I could put on the pool cue. Because I think that would be a really cool view. Imagine? At least I think so. I'm not sure how this thing goes. I don't have that on, right? Oh, there we go. All right, I gotta put this in here. You'd think I would know how to use this since I used it all year. Okay, let's just put it here. I gotta get my shoulders through here. There we go. I'll turn it on. And let's see what it looks like when I do this. Alrighty then. All right. So we'll set it up. I'll put this on the 2. All right. And then I'll do my standard 5 minus 3. And then hopefully, I think trying to get the angle of this might be tricky. Well, we'll see what that looks like. 5 minus 3. And I hit it. Alrighty then. Alright. So we'll set it up. I'll put this on the 2. Alright. And then I'll do my standard 5 minus 3. And then hopefully, I think trying to get the angle of this might be tricky. Well, we'll see what that looks like. 5 minus 3. And I hit it. I'm not sure if that worked very good. We'll find out later, but let me
stop that.
Definitely want to get a better attachment for my pool cue because I think that would be pretty cool. Now I do have the head one as well, so that would have been more of an angle, but because my stance is like this, right? The camera was pointing this way, so I had to actually move my body, which is kind of awkward, but hopefully that picture turns out. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Just having fun out here. See ya!
Thanks for watching. See ya.